Uh,
Yes, Tushar. Go ahead.
so to begin with, we had this question like, what exactly does it mean by spirituality? What does it really mean by spirituality?
Okay. So let
And
us, we will take one question at a time. What is
yeah,
spirituality? I understand.
yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
Okay. So spirituality is a search for stability. There is nothing stable in life. Everything is constantly changing, right? So your environment changes, your job changes, your study material changes. Our aspirations keep changing, right? So life is like a continuous change. Is there a stability in life?
Not really.
Life is always continuously changing. Change is the only constant thing in life. Now we have to keep running in life. Like life will never allow us to take rest. For example, from childhood, immediately we have to go to school, we have to study hard, we have to get a seat, we have to get a job, we have to get married. It's like a continuous race. This race we call as rat's race. Everybody has to, if you are, the moment we stay silent, we are afraid that somebody will overtake us. The rats you have seen now, they jump one over the other. So rats race will not give us peace anytime. So now, is there some peace and happiness possible in life, which is actually permanent in nature? So for that, you have heard of this guy called Maslow. Have you heard of one guy called Maslow's hierarchy?
Bosco's hierarchy.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Moscow's, no.
Maslow. Okay,
I think she might have.
I just flash a slide on screen. So, a Maslow is a psychiatrist in America, Western psychiatrist. He says human beings have different types of needs as they grow. The needs will never end, right? So there's a physiological need. I want to survive. I am hungry. I need some food. Okay. Then there's a safety need. I want to be safe. I need a house, security. Then I need somebody, company, love, relationship. Then I need esteem. People have to respect me. Then I want to be best in my field. It's called self-actualization. So you have heard of this needs, hierarchy of needs. It's called. So people start moving from here all the way up to above, right? So initially, if you're hungry, you'll not even bother about friends and relatives. You'll not bother about security. But once hunger needs are satisfied, you'll look for security, safety and security. Correct? So this is what a Maslow says, hierarchy of needs. Now, this need, we can have two ranges. There's something called growth need, and there's a deficiency need. Correct? So deficiency means I need something. Without that, I can't survive. For example, I don't have food, I can't survive. I don't have a house, I'm not comfortable. So there's something called deficiency need, and then there's something called growth needs. I want to grow. So you understand the difference? Deficiency and growth. So the deficiency need and growth need keeps us continuously in motion, movement. Right? So life will not allow us to rest for even for a minute. You're continuously running. It's like running on a treadmill. Okay. So in our Sanatana Dharma, we classify the needs as 4 Purusharthas called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So now, Artha means safety. I need money for my safety, for my physiological need, food. Kama means I have desire. I love somebody. Okay. I want name and fame. Dharma means I will do something good for the society. Okay. So moksha means I'll transcend this. I'll go beyond this physical, mental, psychological needs. So here I'll find the deep peace within me, the eternal peace within me. So here the peace and happiness is coming because I get something, right? So I get money, I'll feel happy. I get some loved ones, I feel happy. I do some service, I feel happy. But moksha means I have transcended this. I am eternally peaceful and happy, irrespective of circumstances. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now, the spirituality means coming here, this point of evolution of a human being, where you are free from all our life. We need something to be happy, something to be peaceful. Correct? If I don't get what I want, I'll feel uncomfortable. I have one need or the other need. Till this need will end, it'll continue all the way up to my end of life. Right? So can I be peaceful and happy irrespective of any circumstance in my life or my health, my body and mind? So that is possible if I find something very stable in my life. Right? Everything else is unstable. Okay, that stability is called spiritual truth. Okay, see, it's like that. You can imagine there's a wheel. Okay, the wheel is continuously rotating, right? Every point in the wheel is rotating. Understand? There's no point which is stable, but there's one point which is stable. What is the point? The axle. The axle is the center of the wheel, right? So that is the stable point. Everything else is moving. So similarly, in our life, everything moves. The world moves. The body changes. Body is changing continuously. The mind is changing continuously. Intellect is changing continuously. But there is something unchanging in us. That is the stable point in our life. That stable point is the innermost reality. That is called spirit or consciousness. Okay. So now most of us will live in the surface level, at the body level, at the mind level, intellect level, which is unstable. It keeps on changing. But if you start living from the center, we have a view of life which is peaceful and silent. Still, you will be very comfortably interacting and operating with the rest of the system. The whole wheel, the stable point is the axle. Can we operate from that axle? Can we operate from that center point of our life? Okay, that center point is called spirit or consciousness or the self. Okay, incidentally, that center point is also center point of the universe. The universe also you can see, the world also you can see is continuously moving, right? So the world also, everything in the world moves. The earth changes, the weather changes, the whole system is moving. So when things are moving, they require a stable point, right? Anything can, if everything is moving, it collapses. But they need something which doesn't move. An axis. That axis of the universe is called God. The axis of myself is called self. So now these two axes are not too different. They are one axis. The self and the universe, center of the essence of the universe. So the God and individual deepest within me is one reality. So that reality can I reach when I am as a human being. That reality is called spirit or consciousness or the self. Can I operate from that point of view? Is called spirituality. So now, right now, we have not reached that point. That's why we are constantly running after something, right? So life is like, I can give you an example of life. Life is like a treadmill, running in a treadmill. You can run 10,000 kilometers, but still you'll be where you are, right? So what will you lose? What will you gain by running in treadmill? You'll lose some weight, but you will not go anywhere. So life is a treadmill. Now, what are you doing? Why are you running in life? Please tell me. Why are you running in life? Why are you running after in life?
To achieve something where we feel like we have certain goals and we have to achieve it.
Okay, so goals and achievements, we'll take it as next question. Okay. So one thing first in this question we'll understand, life is a constant run. It's a rat's race. Okay. So can I be out of rat's race, still handle the rat's race? Not that I go out of the rat's race. I am in the rat's race, but as the center of the wheel, axle, rather than running, rather than the rotation. I am peaceful inside. Can I handle the every disturbance? So this reaching that center is called spirituality, and it's not simple. Okay, it is a lot of hard work is involved, a lot of work is involved to go inwards to reach that center, because that center is also called God. So I'll show you one more picture. See, there is a picture of a human being here, right? The human being, in spiritual terms, we are dividing the human being, the body of the human being, into 5 layers. These are called Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. You don't have to worry about that now. You'll know later. So human being is physically is a 5-layered entity. Okay, medically you may divide human being into skeleton, bone, blood, and all. In spirituality, we divide the human being into 5 parts, 5 layers. It's called 5 koshas. The innermost layer of us is the consciousness, Atma. Okay, the outer layers are body, mind, intellect, and the innermost layer of the universe, innermost level of the universe is called God or Brahman. So when I reach my innermost layer, I have reached God. So now these two are not two different entities. I am one with God. Okay. And this is the center around which entire body-mind complex runs. This is the center around which the whole universe runs. So I am that center. Can I operate from that center is called spiritual life. For that, you have to do an inward journey. You have to cross many layers of consciousness, many layers of the body mind to reach the innermost layer. So this much you understood? So now let me ask you, we are all called human beings, correct? Are you a human being?
Yeah, biologically we are Homo sapiens.
My answer, you have to give you don't give technical answer to me. My question is yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you a human being? Okay, now justify why you are a human being. You give me a justification why you are a human being. We take so many things granted for in life, okay? So tell me, why are you a human being?
I think one, basically because what human beings are made of, we are made up of that, physically and physiologically speaking. And the other aspect, what makes us human is our emotions. So we have those emotions. So that is what would make us human beings. We want social connect. So we crave social lives. That is what makes us human beings. I think.
You have not defined human being.
No.
See, in life, it takes so many things as granted. Human being is a compound of 2 words, human and being. Correct? So now what you try to define is a human part. You didn't define the being part at all. Human part is I have a human body, I have emotions, I want to connect with people. Correct? What did you say anything about being?
For me, being would be the way we are, the way we live, the way we exercise our work or our skills or
So
whatsoever.
the you're mixing up being with the becoming. The way I live is a becoming. I want to become an engineer. That's way how I want to live. I want to maintain my job. That's a becoming. The definition of being and becoming, being is what you are. Becoming is what you want to become. Our way of life is to become something. That's what running is about. So both of you have tried to define the simple word called human being. Okay. You're not able to touch the being part at all. So you said, I have emotions, I have a body, I want to connect with people. So a donkey has also emotion. A monkey also has emotion, right? A monkey also wants to live in a group. So your definition is not defining human being. It defines monkeys also. Definition is very generic what you are giving. It includes all the animals also. Are you getting what I'm saying?
But there is something called as intellect, which is very
Oh, is monkey not intelligent?
yeah, the kind of evolution that we have gone through.
So you have a intellect is slightly evolved, but
Yes.
do you know intelligence of a mosquito? Intellect of a mosquito? Mosquito knows exactly 3 a.m. in the night when you are deep asleep, it will attack you. It doesn't attack at 2 o'clock. Is it intelligent? It is intelligent. And mosquitoes live in a colony. They also want friends. Huh? So what makes you human being?
I think that today we are able to sit and talk about approaching spirituality.
Animals don't talk.
No, I meant to say that now we are considering spirituality or trying to find
So
our inner self.
only human being has the ability to go beyond the emotional needs of the animals. Others, whatever you have defined so far is common to all the animals. Understand? We have the ability to go beyond all animals. Okay, so no, our intellect gives us the ability to discover science and technology, right? Science, technology, the intellect gives ability. A monkey cannot discover. So the intellect is the ability which gives us the ability to go beyond our normal boundaries. Understand? A monkey cannot do that. The rest of the definition of what human being you have given is all common to all animals, including mosquito. Of course, human being has a human body, whereas a monkey has a monkey body. I can call monkey being and human being difference. But rest of the definition of human being is same to all. Right? Only human being has the ability to go beyond the limitations. That's why we have science, that's why we have technology. Are we clear? Okay, now the science and technology takes us to the outer space, takes us to bring some beautiful things in life, right? But can science and technology give peace to you? There are limitations of what science and technology can give you. Science and technology can give love to you. It can facilitate love, but it cannot give you love. The deeper human needs cannot be satisfied by science and technology. Right? Some superficial needs can be satisfied. For example, I can have an air-conditioned room thanks to science and technology. But can I have an air-conditioned mind? So the same intellect which enabled us to go beyond in science and technology can help us to go deep within, to discover the inner essence of me. That inner essence is called self, Atman. And when I discover that, I realize that inner essence of me is called God also. So that gives me the immense peace. That is called spiritual journey. Now, out of human being part, you try to describe human. You never spoke about being. You skipped it. Is it conscious decision or unconscious decision to skip being part?
I think it would be unconscious.
So, how old are you now? You must be about you must be in your 30s.
Yes.
So till now you don't even understand what is being, but still use the word human being comfortably.
Yeah.
Huh? So now human being is two words. Is being 50% of human being? That word is 50% you have to give weightage, or how much you have to give weightage to each of the words?
We cannot say until we realize what is being.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. First of all, you are ignoring a large part of you. It's called being. You're not even conscious of that being part of you. You are conscious of the human part of you. Human part of you is constantly becoming, wants to become something. You have heard this song? Honge kamyab ek din. We are constantly want to become something, one day or the other day. That is human part. The being part is stable part of us, constant part of us, peaceful part of us. So that we are ignoring. We are not even aware. So operating from the being part is called spirituality. Right now you're operating with the human part. Okay. So now let me ask the question further. To understand what is being is all about. Right? Somebody dies. Okay. Right? So now, firstly answer the question, are you human or a being? You may have to make a choice. You can't say both. Because now I have proved that they are different. Are you human or a being?
Human, as of now, human.
Yeah.
As of now, human. That means body is human.
Yeah.
So the moment somebody dies, the body is in home. So you bring the body from the hospital. The human part is in your house. So what you should do? You have to preserve that human part. You have to put in a refrigerator and preserve the human part, because body is you know. Right? So then what will you immediately send a message to all? So and so, Mr. Ram passed away. So the body is immediately sent to crematorium, burnt or buried. So now what are you? Are you the body? If you are the body should be preserved in a refrigerator and do puja for that body. Why the body is burnt? Because it's a waste product. So who are you? You still claim that I am the body? Are you getting the question?
Yes, yes.
You still want to claim that you are the body? Or you want to, this is a question answer, okay? This is like an entrance exam. You have to, you have one choice to modify.
I think being human also, as you mentioned, entails emotions, intellect.
No, he's saying is the body. Are you the
So,
body?
so if
Now
you
you have to make a
refer to
choice. You have to make a choice. Human or a being or both.
I think we can be both
A,
only
B,
when
C.
we realize.
Huh?
I think we can be both only when we realize what being is.
So now what are you?
Right now, I'm sure I'm human because
Yeah.
I'm not
So,
realized.
So that means the moment somebody dies, the human part is remaining. We should not send a message that person passed away. Passed away means he has gone. Who has gone? Body is here only, no? How he has gone?
It's not alive anymore.
Huh?
Body is not living anymore.
So you are not the body, but living principle in that body. Are you getting what I'm saying? The body is just a vehicle, instrument. The living principle is called the being. So that's why the body is a waste. It's thrown out after the death of some person. The being who is using the body is gone. So now you tell me, are you a human or a being or both?
I think they're supposed to be both, but I'm still human.
No. You logically understand the question. If you are a human, when somebody dies, the body, human body is kept in the house. Even the most loving wife or husband will not keep the body for next half an hour. The body is thrown out and message is sent. this person has passed away. What is the meaning of passed away in English?
Died.
No, he has gone away, passed away. So he is no longer there. So what is no longer there? The living principle is no longer there in that. Correct?
Right.
Correct.
So now tell me, are you the body which is dead matter or the living principle in that?
Yeah,
Should
we
be
are
the
the
living
living principle.
So you are not the body. Right? The body is the human part. The living principle is the being. Okay. So that being is not visible after somebody dies. That's why the body cannot be used. It's a dead. It's a waste matter. So that body is burnt or cremated because the living, the one who is using it, is gone. You understand?
Yeah.
So now who are you? Are you the human or a being? Are you both?
Being. By that.
Yeah, we are being by that definition.
So you are the being, which is the living principle, the consciousness principle. Understand? So when the body dies, that consciousness principle moves. That's why body is dead matter. It's useless. Then what is the relationship of human and being? How they are connected?
Human is just a tool then.
Human is
the
an
being.
instrument, a vehicle for the being to operate. Correct? So when you explain about yourself, you are only explaining about the vehicle. You are not explaining about yourself at all, being at all. You don't even know about being. So that means you are self-ignorant. You don't know who you are. You understand? So what is the problem of being self-ignorant?
We'll never let it go.
Huh?
You will always be human.
You will be always
We will always be human.
the problem with the human part is it's constantly changing. You'll become old. Oh, I have become old. I have disease. I'm suffering. The human point is always unstable. So you want to be always unstable in your life?
No.
So then you have to understand about being, which is unstable. It's a real you. Understand? So most of the people don't even know that there's some real me and my vehicle. They don't understand the difference. Okay, the spirituality is journey, understanding who really I am, and that real I am is called God, the essence of me. Right? So now what will happen? That's like axle around which everything moves. So when somebody is died, that axle is gone. The dead body is there, it's useless, it can't move. That's why it's thrown out. You are the axle, not the wheel. Right? So whole of our life, we don't understand this. We live in ignorance. When we live in ignorance, we are constantly running. And why do we run? We'll take the next question. Right? So life will become stressful. Have you seen the face of a child? The face of a child is relaxed and peaceful. See a middle-aged person, see a old-aged person, the whole face will be full of stress. The life becomes a burden that can be seen on the face. You see the photograph of a person, a child, adult, and old man. The life will become full of stress because he's constantly running. He's, in your medical terms, his adrenaline is constantly pumping. Fight or flight. Understand? So a human being can be going beyond fight or flight syndrome. He can be deeply peaceful, can handle every stress in life in a very peaceful manner. That journey is called spirituality. So now we started the human being, right? You said first about human and you didn't tell anything about being. Now you are saying you have a being. And human is a vehicle. When you know who you really are, you will use the vehicle properly. So let us say I have a flower. I have a beautiful plant. So there are beautiful flowers in the plant. Okay. Now, where should I put water to the plant?
To the roots, to the soil.
To the root. If you put water to the flower, what will happen to the plant?
Will not grow.
Will dry, it will collapse.
So all our life, we are giving attention to the human part, which is flower. We are ignoring the being part, which is the root. This causes suffering in life. So to find out my real root, go to the essence of me, is called spiritual journey. Right? So it's like in terms of modern, in physics language, all physicists want to find a unified field theory. Am I right? There are 5 forces of nature. Right? What are the 5 forces of nature? Gravitational force, weak, what is that? Weak, I don't know exactly, but all these 5 forces of nature. You want to find a unified field theory, correct? Why do you want to find unified field theory? After finding unified field theory, all physicians will retire or what? Huh? You want a job or what? You say there is something unification in the entire universe. That's called unified field theory. That unified field theory you'll never be able to find out in your life, because unified field theory is the being, the consciousness. You are searching for that outside with a microscope, with the accelerator, particle accelerator, all those things. So quantum physics has somewhat come closer to that, the observer. That's why the quantum physicists, okay, say the Vedanta is more closer to science, quantum physics, because they are speaking the same language, speaking the language of consciousness. The consciousness is the being. So journey from the matter, which is the body, mind, and intellect, to consciousness is called spiritual journey. Is the definition of spirituality clear?
Yes, yes.
Any follow-up questions on what we have discussed so far?
Like how to approach this? That
So
was
that I'll take you. First, I defined what is spirituality. I'll define the next question.
okay.
Right, the next question. Can you next recording?